Hi, I'm John with Janry Pet Resort, and today I'd like to talk about some of the equipment we use when training. First off, for all of my students, I always recommend at least a 6-foot lead. Now, the one that I like the most is what's called a loose leash. A loose leash has a handle down on the bottom and up at the top, so if you're dealing with a medium to large dog, you have full control. Next, let's talk about collars. This is just a flat collar. This is good for what I call your bling bling. Any of your ID tags, rabies tags, go on your flat collar. They come in all different shapes, sizes, colors, and they're wonderful to jazz up your dog, but not so much for training. Next up is a Martingale collar. These come in a variety of different colors as well, also different materials. The one that I have for an example is called a combo Martingale collar or a nylon one. So what this does is it restricts, and we use that as a correction. Next up is what I like to call a slip chain collar, better known as a choker collar. Work the same way, pop and release as a correction, and the long side should go down the left side of the dog's neck. It should look like an upside down P. Next up is what's called a ProTrainer. This essentially is a plastic prong collar. Next up is a prong collar, better known as a mommy collar. The reason these are called that is because they mimic a mother's nip. It's the same way that a mom is teaching a pup. She'll use her nose to bump or nip at the pup's neck when they're doing something socially unacceptable. That's exactly what this mimics. Lastly, I'd like to talk about something that many people don't even think about when they're doing their training: proper footwear. A lot of my students will come to class with open-toed shoes, flip-flops, things like that. It's not okay for training. You want to make sure that you have closed toes and closed heel shoes. The reason for this is because if a dog steps on your foot, that hurts. And especially if they're trying to take off for a heel. You don't want that happening, I promise. So join us next time as we see some of these collars and leashes in action as I take an uncooperative dog and hopefully make them cooperative. We'll see you next week.